everybody, and welcome to the fourth episode of our What No You Explain Tournament of Champions, still live from Madison Square Garden. We've managed to sneak the crowd in for this round, and it still amazes me how easy it is to find 20,000 sets of plumber's overalls for a disguise in New York City. I'm still your host up in the booth, Braden Thorvaldson. This is the last of our first round matchups to determine who advances to the semi-final, and we've got two opponents who are best friends, good friends, and will absolutely attempt to trivially traumatize the other to move on to the semi-final. Our opponents tonight are in fact the co-hosts of the Millennial Cast, also known as the podcast that first gave me my start in the industry. Have I managed to pry that start into a terrifying multi-million-dollar empire? No, of course not. But it's still Sara versus T, two co-hosts who worked on the same show and are now preparing for the same showdown to close out our first round. We are going to head on down to one of our two ringside reporters who is standing by with Sara right now. Braden? Thanks, Braden. I'm here with Sara, who is barely visible over the stacks of books, notepads, and strangely enough, one single machete that she's brought. Sara, I know this is the first round and you want to make a statement. Have you done any extra preparation for tonight's bout?
I mean, some. One would say preparation H.
Oh, no. I can tell you. I was just saying, I can tell you're very proud with that, and I feel this is important to tell you. We're still live.
So then I take it that you feel pretty good on the whole?
Oh, that's another one. That is another one right there. So you've got, I was just going to say, you've got your preparation H to make the whole situation go away?
You know, shrinks the problem.
Don't you shake your head, T. You started this. So let's talk about your opponent briefly. Given your experience and relationship with your opponent, do you think you have any insight into her trivia-based methods?
I'd say I know her pretty well. I mean, we've known each other for close to what, like 20 years? A little over 20 years.
Ew.
Since we were 11, bud. But yeah, so I kind of know her ins and outs a little bit. Like, not, those ins and outs, but
we're 92% sure they have not had intercourse before, listeners, but
can confirm that is a no. But I know her pretty well. I know what makes her tick.
So, given the potential biohazardous possibility, I would say the possibility of this cough, do you think your opponent gently backing away towards the other side of the arena may help?
Yeah, actually. I have a secret weapon.
Nope, that is entirely fair. So, lastly, I know that your opponent is far away on the other side of the arena talking to our other ringside reporter, but if she were here right now, right in front of you, would you have any trash talk for her?
Yeah. Going down. It's gonna go down. It's gonna go downtown. All I got. That's all I got.
That's all I got, and that's all you need. Thanks, Sara, and good luck tonight. We'll head on over to the other side with T, who is talking to our other reporter.
Go down like a $2 hooker.
Thanks, Braden. I'm here tonight with T, who is sporting a very fresh set of tattooed knuckles, which seem to say fact life, with life, of course, spelt with a Y. T, I know that you're an old hand in the competitive trivia circuit, so are there any bits of preparation that you did for tonight's match?
Absolutely. I've been scouring books, not actually reading them, but I look at their spines and I just hope that their information goes inside of my brain. And I'm pretty sure that's how the greats do it. So Sara's going down today.
Excellent. We appreciate a bit of general knowledge, and who doesn't love a little bit of spine looking? Mm-hmm. So, I know that you and your opponent go way back. So, do you think that this familiarity with her work may give you an advantage tonight?
No, I don't think so. She's a very smart lady, so we'll see what happens.
That is incredibly diplomatic, so I'm going to ask you to go the exact other way, because I know that your opponent is far away on the other side of the arena, potentially getting our other sideline reporter deathly ill. But if she were here right now, right in front of you, would you have any trash talk for her?
Yes. See, what they don't know is that I've replaced her preparation H with hot sauce.
Well, I won't lie to you. That does that explains a significant amount of her pre-fight behavior. All right, thanks, T, and we'll throw on over to the announcer, who seems just about ready to start the battle. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, others of all ages, tonight is the last fight of the first round of the What No You Explain Tournament of Champions. Get on your feet and bring your hands together for the competitors tonight. In the red corner, coming in with one podcast, 30 episodes, and 14 episodes script edited of this very show, it's the Grimdark Graphic Designer, the luminescent lighting designer, the baby mama who don't bring no drama. It's Sara. And in the blue corner...
I think you might be mistaken there, sir. Anyway.
Oh, no. And in the blue corner, she don't need no tarot cards to see that she wants a win tonight. Her name has 3 syllables, but she only needs the middle. She's the 10 out of 10 tarot reader, the TikTok trendsetter who'll thump in your teeth. It's the one and only T.
Yeah, all right. Now I think I might add another syllable for teeth.
Gotta add the th right in there. I was just going to say audio editors love a th. All right, so from our pre-match coin flip, Sara, you get to pick the first of our 5 categories today. The wonders of nature, cosmically worrying, Coke fries and a burger, one way to go, and of course, the grab bag.
You know, I haven't had a proper glass of Coke in like 2.5 weeks now. I'm going to say Coke fries and a burger.
I don't know if that's as long as you think it is, but yes, let's go Coke fries and a burger.
Wow, I've been craving sweet, okay? Like, I can't have anything fucking sweet right now, and I want it.
That is entirely fair. So, as you both know, this is all 2 truths and a lie, so 2 of these statements are the truth. One of them is artisanally crafted bullshit. Statement number 1. McDonald's created the drive-thru because of the U.S. military. Military regulations forbade soldiers from stepping outside of the base wearing their uniforms, and most soldiers wouldn't take the effort to get out of their uniform, go to a McDonald's, get a burger and fries, eat the meal, go back to the base, and get back into their uniform. It's just a lot of work for a hamburger. So, in 1975, a McDonald's manager in Sierra Vista, Arizona, by the name of David Rich, found a solution. He cut a hole in the side of his restaurant so that soldiers could drive up in their vehicles, give their order, receive their food, and not technically step foot outside the base. The idea caught on, and it was rapidly implemented for civilian purposes soon after. Statement number 2. John Pemberton, the inventor of Coca-Cola, did so because he was chronically addicted to morphine and was trying to get off it. This addiction was something he developed after being stabbed with a sword during the American Civil War, where he served in the Confederate Army as a lieutenant colonel. The original ingredients in his concoction were sugar, caffeine, alcohol, and of course, cocaine. The morphine to Coca-Cola weaning did not end up working, sadly. Number 3. Despite the fact that many in the United States feel that China has something of a leg up on them, economically and trade-wise, they may be reassured to know that if China does try to leverage this trade advantage, America can hit them right where it hurts, in the fast food side order. As of 2021, the United States provides China with 30% of its French fry supply, primarily distributed throughout fast food restaurants in China, but also to a wider growing grocery market. So, T. Sara chose the category, you get to guess first. Which one of these is the lie? We're just going to have you lock in your answer first, and then we'll explain after.
Okay, the first one. The military.
You think the first one is the lie? All right, Sara.
I actually agree. It's the first one.
All right, you've both locked in the first one. I would say, T, what makes you think it's the first one?
It's just interesting to me that somebody would cut a hole in the side of their restaurant because they've had so many complaints from just a very specific group of people.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they are friends with this group of people, but either way, it seems like a very interesting reasoning. And also, I've never been in the military, but is it that hard to dress and undress, especially if you really want to go get a burger? Like sometimes you just got to go get a burger. So how long does it take to dress and undress, right? I don't know, but that's why it seems so weird to me.
No, totally fair, totally fair. Sara.
So mine is a little more like world trade-y and poli-sci, because I know for a fact that the U.S. is one of the major exporters of French fries and potato-related goods to China. I also know that the only reason China has fast food, for the most part, is because of Western corporations. So That's a thing. And I've always heard that Coke had Coke in it originally, and it sounds completely plausible. So I don't feel like you would build something out based on something that's probably true. So I'm going with the first one. Also, like, not getting undressed, like, the uniform is not that expensive. They're not wearing plate mail. Just take it off, go get a burger.
Well, I won't lie to you. I think you guys may slightly underestimate the amount of convenience that the Americans will crave, because number one is absolutely true.
Oh my god.
It is
the Coke one. Isn't it? It's the Coke one.
Nope, Nope, it is. I was just going to say it is number 3.
Really?
Where in fact, it's not 30% of its potato supply, it's 70.
Oh, you changed one of the fucking facts. Like,
all it needs, man. That's all it needs to be.
That's the only
you
one.
are so full of shit. I hate it. Yeah, because I knew that one was true because I've been to China. I have been to China. I know that like 90% of their fast food is fucking like Burger King, McDonald's, Pizza Hut. It's all Western corporations.
Oh,
and they don't grow potatoes there.
I'd say probably more than 90% of their fast food.
I mean, they do have some that's not, but yeah.
That is absolutely fair.
They don't grow potatoes there.
All right, we're still deadlocked at 0-0. Christina, do you want The Wonders of Nature, Cosmically Worrying, One Way to Go, or, of course, The Grab Bag?
Wonders of Nature, please.
The Wonders of Nature. All right.
She might have an advantage on this one.
All right. Number 1. Kangaroo pouches have the ability to retract to approximately 5% of its original volume in times of stress. While there is some theory that kangaroos develop this ability to streamline their bodies to move faster from predators, there have been reports that this ability has been used as a sort of timeout for joeys that wander too far away from their mother. When they attempt to hop out of the mother's pouch, they find that they are stuck until the mother deems that the, quote, timeout is over. Number 2. Baby koalas must first eat their mom's poop before they can properly digest eucalyptus leaves. This is the time where I'm sad this is not a video podcast, because both of our competitors did not like that sentence. This is because that in order to properly digest eucalyptus leaves, their staple meal that is toxic to pretty much everything else that eats leaves, their digestive system needs to be packed full of a very specific probiotic bacteria, which does not occur naturally within baby koala systems. So, when that koala reaches about 6 months old, they nuzzle near their mother's cloaca, where she instinctively produces a specialized kind of poop called pap. This young koala feeds on this for weeks, allowing them to gain the essential microbes needed to detoxify eucalyptus leaves for them. Happy Mother's Day, everyone. Number 3. And Sarah, hold on to your hats. Wombats have an armored butt. When pursued by a predator, a wombat will just run back to its den and plug the entrance with its butt. Much of their butt is made of a very thick cartilage, which is very bite and scratch resistant, and many of the wombat's natural predators lack the ability to do significant damage to the cartilage. However, if the predator does manage to stick its snout into the den, the wombat will use its powerful hind legs and padded butt to crush the predator's head against the ceiling to suffocate it. The predator cannot dislodge, and it often suffocates. In other words, yeah, I was just going to say, a wombat can twerk a predator to death. So Sarah, Christina chose the category. Which one of these do you think is the lie?
Can you just, like, point form recap?
I know. I forgot what the first one is after that.
Retractable kangaroo pouches.
Okay.
Baby koalas need to eat their mom's poop in order to digest eucalyptus leaves. And wombats have an armored butt of which they can use to potentially murder a predator. Only one of these is a lie.
I don't believe you that there's only one lie.
Why have we not heard of this? We have the internet.
I know! How has the internet not told us about these things? I want to see Joey's get trapped and like timed out.
That's creepy of you.
Kangaroo pouch.
You're
No.
gonna be a mom.
I want to see them get timed out. I don't want to see them die.
Okay.
Also, for the record, if our daughter needs to eat poop to like survive, I'm out. Nope. They have medical professionals that will find a way around that.
Listen, we all have that one salad bowl that we just don't use very much.
Now she's wondering which one in your house is that one.
No, for me. And actually, no, I know which one. There are none because I know he eats salad or fucking cereal like it's fucking going out of style. So we never have bowls of any variety.
Oh, lies and slander. Lies and slander.
What?
All right. So which one of these is the lie?
I'm going with the wombats.
You're going with the wombats?
Yeah.
All right. T, Sarah's going with the wombats. What are you thinking?
I'll go timeout pouch.
You're going timeout pouch? All right. Sarah, what makes you think wombats don't have an armored butt that can twerk a predator to death? Does that not sound very realistic to you?
Okay, so I have two reasons. First, the other two seem at least vaguely plausible because I know that the kangaroo's pouch is like fairly like adjustable in some way because the Joeys are in there for a while. But I also and like the koala poop it's disgusting, but it's plausible. But also you put far too much detail in that third one. I don't believe it.
All right, T. I would say you think the timeout kangaroo pouch is the lie.
I do, because can it really expand and contract that much? Because it's still going to be a muscle. It's filled with mucus, isn't it? That's what I've heard, at least on the internet. I just feel like that's probably wouldn't expand and contract that much. But I guess it could, because the little kangaroo grows, but that's over time. Anyway, that seems weird to me. But also, wouldn't you assume that they've done clinical trials of feeding what's koala poop to humans? Wouldn't they have done that? Wouldn't we have heard about that? So we could eat those leaves, right? We could eat eucalyptus leaves. Wouldn't you assume you've heard about that? So that's why I think that's also just like a weird thing. So I don't know. It's very confusing. I'm gonna say that I'm not 100% on this one.
No, fair enough. You started out very confident, and I think we went from 100% confident down to like 60, 50.
Yeah, I don't know, honestly. These are all ridiculous, but I like the last one a lot. I think that's very cute.
I would say a wombat twerking somebody to death? Or
Nice little dump truck. Her little bum. It's very cute.
To do with all that junk up in.
Yeah.
Well, I have good news for one of you and bad news for the other. Number one is the lie. Christina is on the board. I would say, by and large, it is sort of like a generally expand. It's not a thing that can retract enough to actually keep the kangaroo in there. Like, it's not necessarily a timeout. But yes, that would be adorable. That would be adorable, but nope, unfortunately not. I was just going to say, so T is on the board, 1-0. Sarah.
I'm going to need some videos of this twerking wombat. That's all I'm going to say.
Seriously.
Also, you never did share those videos of the other one that we did before. I'd just like to throw that out there.
I won't lie to you. I think I might have sent something to you, but again, we can figure that out.
I demand Cat Island. That's all I'm going to say.
Have I not seen? Oh, I've definitely sent you the Funny Island one. All right. At some point, we'll need to release. I'll need to release the pilot episode of this after all this is done to give some form of context to this. All right, Sarah, you've got some ground to pick up. You've got Cosmically Worrying, one way to go, or of course, the grab bag.
I'm hesitant to pick this one because I know that T is like the master of all things cosmic, but I wanna. So Cosmically Worrying.
Cosmically Worrying. All right. All right. I'm going to take a gentle sip of tea and then I will begin. All right. Statement number one. Our sun might exist because the Milky Way galaxy is eating another galaxy. The Sagittarius dwarf galaxy has passed through the Milky Way galaxy 5 different times throughout the universe's existence, growing smaller each time, while the Milky Way grows progressively bigger. And yes, Sarah, I do see that yawn. Each time the Sagittarius dwarf galaxy passes through, there is a ripple effect in the Milky Way galaxy, which aids in the creation of new stars. One of these ripples is calculated as happening 4.7 billion years ago. Our sun is approximately 4.7 billion years old. Coincidence? No, it's not. Number 2. The sun is loud enough that if it wasn't for the vacuum of space, scientists estimate that we would be deafened by the onslaught of sound. Heliophysicist Craig DeForest of the Southwest Research Institute's Department of Space Studies estimate that given the amount of superheated plasma and nuclear explosions that go into powering the sun, the ensuing sound would be a little bit like a dull roar, given the massive array of sound frequencies that would be in effect, but it would also be about 300 decibels by the time it hit Earth, which is enough to make every living creature on Earth with eardrums no longer have eardrums. So, thank goodness for the cold, merciless vacuum of space. Number 3. 16,000 people have gone missing since the 1970s in a section of wilderness called the Alaskan Triangle. Natives in Alaska believe that it has something to do with an energy vortex in the area which affects people physically, mentally, and spiritually. This area began enjoying public attention in October 1972, when a small private plane carrying U.S. House Majority Leader Hale Boggs, Alaska Congressman Nick Begich, an aide named Russell Brown, and their bush pilot seemingly vanished into thin air while flying from Anchorage to Juneau. Since then, people have gone missing at more than twice the national average, with no standing overall explanation. So Sarah, you chose the category, so T, you get to pick an answer first.
Okay. I think it's the last one.
Okay, I would say we're locking in the Alaskan Triangle. Sarah.
I think it's the second one. The sun.
Oh, all
the
right.
noise.
Mm-hmm.
Just to clarify, the solar noise, not the...
You mean not good morning?
So I would say it's less good morning and more. All right. So, T, what makes you think the Alaskan Triangle is full of lies?
Well, I feel like the sun one is extremely logical. A lot of things have noise, and everything that's going on there, you're telling me that it doesn't create a lot of noise? That seems implausible. So the fact that I have never heard about this Alaskan spooky stuff seems weird to me. I feel like I would have heard this somewhere, so that's why I picked it.
All right, Sarah.
Okay.
Very loud sun.
So, just to recap, you said that when the sun begins the noise, it would generally just be a dull roar, but by the time it reaches Earth, it would be over 300 decibels, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't
sound doesn't
listen
amplify.
once.
Decibels don't go up the further you get away from things.
Smart.
Well, I was just going to say your light and sound technician worked. I would say that worked out well. Sarah, you are now on the board. And T, for the record,
We need microphones.
I mean, it's also thousands of nuclear explosions.
Mm-hmm. But it was the way you phrased it. It was
Yeah,
like,
that
you had me.
clever.
You had me until you were like, it starts out as a dull roar if you're right there. And then it grows to over 300 decibels. So I was like, no.
That was clever.
Tried to fuck with me where I live.
You're really clever with the statistics now. It's not just here's a ridiculous fact and here's a super normal fact.
See, I get to just slowly. I gotta keep you guys on your toes, man. I gotta keep you guys on your toes.
Like, I don't love that you're taking like something that is real and then changing one thing and then like that's a lie all of a sudden because you've changed one bit of the fact.
Makes it harder.
It does make it harder. I don't like it.
Well, you're both at 1-1. So, Christina, do you want one way to go or the grab bag?
The The grab bag.
The grab bag. Oh, there we go. I appreciate that we're going with the base again. There we go. All right. Statement number 1. Stonehenge. Good start, Braden. Stonehenge is a monument found in what is now England. Archaeologists suspect that it is almost 5,000 years old and is the result of over 30 million man-hours of work. Even throughout the 18th and 19th centuries, people would gather around the upright stones during the summer and winter solstices, even for a lovely meal on the hill. But you can't come that way without something to show for it. So, the owners of the land that Stonehenge was on used to hand out chisels so that people could take their own souvenir piece of Stonehenge with them. It was only when the land that Stonehenge was on was gifted to England in 1918 that the stones had a fence put up around them, a policeman installed, and a 1 shilling entry fee instated. Number 2. Snails have over 14,000 teeth and eat bones and meat, not just vegetables. Also, the snail's teeth are on its tongue. They use that toothy tongue of theirs, called a radula, as a file to basically scrape off small, softer parts of their food in order to consume it. What do they consider food? Well, anything they can get their tongue on, really. Snails are known to eat pretty much any organic matter, including bones, and some species even have venom in their radula to paralyze their food so that the snail can consume it. Very, very slowly. Number 3. In order to prevent disaster, a black underwear policy is enforced on Major League Baseball umpires while on the job in case they split their pants. The rule has been in place since 1971, where a split in the umpire's pants during a game between the New York Yankees and Boston Red Sox led to a 15-minute delay of game, while the team searched for replacement pants for the umpire to hide his bright red undergarments. The MLB was also fined $25,000 by the United States Federal Communications Commission, or FCC, for, quote, indecent exposure. So, T, you chose the category. So, Sarah, you get to go first.
Okay. So we have Stonehenge, but you were able to take pieces home with you.
They handed out chisels so you could take a piece home with you.
How long ago did they stop doing that? Did you say?
I would say they stopped in 1918.
Okay. And then we have snails with teeth.
Yep.
Carnivorous snails.
Well, more omnivorous snails. Really anything organic.
Not making a difference on the point. And we have men with pants split.
Well, black underwear policy in the Major
Yeah.
League Baseball because of it. But yeah, it's a grab bag for a reason, man.
I'm gonna say it's the first one.
Okay, Sarah's locking in bring your own Stonehenge. T.
Okay. Stonehenge. What was the second one?
Snails?
Oh,
Toothy snails. Toothy snails.
How am I supposed to know this one? There's some that sound ridiculous and some that sound obvious. And like, I know you, and it's not.
Welcome to the game.
Okay. Okay, I'll pick the umpire one.
All right. T is locking in the umpire one. Sarah, what makes you think that people weren't bringing pieces of Stonehenge home with them?
Saying that people weren't bringing pieces of Stonehenge home with them, but I'm saying they weren't handing out chisels to do so. Because I guarantee by the time that like Stonehenge was actually recognized as a like great wonder of the world, people were already treating it with reverence. Like there's no way. And the others, I will never look at a snail the same way again.
Yeah.
But also the like black underwear policy, they were cups. Like it's fine.
All right, T, what makes you I would say
Wrong.
nope, that's entirely fair. T, what makes you think that underwear must wear? I would just say, what makes you think that is the lie?
Okay. I'm beginning to understand how this works, and I feel like that is the most logical, like, truth that there is. But I feel like you're going to throw something in there, like it wasn't public indecency because he didn't actually show his whole bum. It was just something like that, right? I'm pretty sure they probably implemented that, but it's one of those little things. But if you go with the middle one and you tell me there isn't 47,000 million teeth on a snail, there's actually only 15,000 million snails teeth on the snail, I would be so mad. So I don't completely know what to do here, but the Stonehenge one seems the most obviously a lie, and that's why I think it's the truth because you scare me now. And honestly, back then, I guess people were just a little weirder than we are now. Different philosophies, I guess. So I'm going with the butt.
All right. You're going with the butt. Well, I was just gonna say that that butt does not. I would say that butt does indeed lie. T, you are up 2-1.
Ah,
That was
And yeah, Sarah, I was just
seriously?
gonna. Stonehenge was just straight up in some dude's backyard. Like he was more than willing to just like, yeah, sure, man. Here's a chisel. I was just gonna say, give me a pound. Here's a chisel. Take some home with you. Take some home with you, man.
people are jerks. Why wouldn't they do that? So can you explain exactly what's the lie? Did I have it right?
No, I was just gonna say you. I was just gonna say I would say there is a black underwear policy. It is not because I would say it's not because of an actual pants split. It is basically because, by and large, baseball is governed by prudes. So they were, and also umpires are pretty much the entirety of what umpires are is basically austere dignity. Like they were wearing basically suit coats until the 70s.
Fancy.
Hmm. Oh, fuck. I thought you were talking about catchers.
No, I'd said umpires a couple times, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna blame pregnancy brain.
I mean,
All right.
still, I think it's the same thing.
No, because catchers they don't all wear black pants. So why would they wear black underwear if they don't have black pants?
Oh, I just assumed that it was for more opaqueness. I don't know what color anybody wears.
So what I'm hearing is you kind of bluffed your way into this one.
No, I just figured black is opaque. White is see-through sometimes. I don't know.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. That is entirely fair. All right, T, you are up by 1 going into the final round. Sarah, would you like a choice between one way to go or one way to go?
You know what? I've put some really hard thought into this. And it's really like the choices, they're so different. They're such different categories, and I really feel like I have the best chance with one way to go.
You know, that's entirely fair, and we appreciate that sort of strategy on What Do You Explain? Tournament of Champions. All right. Statement number 1. Benjamin Al Salomon was a United States Army dentist during World War II, primarily near the Japanese theater. He spent the first few years of the war behind the lines, basically giving dental work to whomever needed it. Can't have bad teeth. That changed in June 1944 when Salomon saw his first combat, going ashore on Saipan with the 105th Infantry. With little dental work to do during active combat, Salomon volunteered to replace the 2nd Battalion surgeon, who had been wounded. Fighting it was heavy, and a major Japanese assault soon overran the perimeter, and then the aid station where Salomon was working. Salomon was able to grab a rifle that was near him, kill the enemy that entered the hospital tent, and then kept on ordering the wounded to be evacuated, while he stayed and fired upon the incoming enemy with a machine gun to cover their withdrawal. When an army team returned to the site days later, Salomon's army was found slumped over the machine gun with the bodies of 98 enemy troops piled up in front of his position. His body had 76 bullet wounds and many bayonet wounds, of up to 24 of which might have been received while he was still alive. Number 2. Caleb Pickman was only 22 when he died in Salem, Massachusetts in 1737. He died by being struck by lightning and was buried in Charter Street Cemetery. Over time, a tree grew out of his gravesite, and again, while that might be kind of a lovely thing, many of his family members refused to go to the site on stormy days for one particular reason. The grave just seems to attract lightning. On an average of once every 22 years, the tree keeps getting struck, resulting in further and further damage. There were some uncharitable rumors that Caleb's ghost was trapped in the tree, and until it was destroyed, he would never be free, but you can still see both gravestone and tree in Salem today. Number 3. U.S. Army Air Force Staff Sergeant Alan McGee was a turret gunner in a B-17 bomber, set out to bomb German torpedo stores near Saint-Nazaire, France. The Germans took over France. for a time. Just to give you a bit of a heads up, because I saw the look on both of your faces.
I thought you said Satan, and then it dawned on me, so I'm thinking Sarah might also have had the same thought.
Yeah, it was much the same. I knew that Germany took over France. I know my history.
And then I think we were both like, he must have said saint. I don't think that's Satan.
Saint Van Nazaire, France. During this mission, the plane was shot by anti-aircraft guns, hit with flak, and with fire from German fighter jets. McGee attempted to jump out of the plane, but found that his parachute was shredded through the attack. He was then knocked out of the plane 22,000 feet in the air. He ended up following through a glass roof of the train station in Saint Nazaire and was found dangling from a rafter by German soldiers occupying the town. He managed to actually survive the fall with a broken leg and an ankle, as well as the near amputation of his right arm. He even survived the surgeries to put him back together again. So, what ended up getting him? An infection that he had obtained on the boat ride back to the United States after Saint Nazaire had been retaken by the Allies. So, Christina, which one is the lie? The dentist that killed 98 Japanese troops? The Massachusetts man whose grave just keeps on getting hit by lightning? Or the guy who survived falling 22,000 feet out of the air, a battlefield amputation, and reattachment, only to get killed by an infection on the boat ride back home?
The dentist.
The dentist. We are locking in the dentist. Sarah, what are we thinking?
Also gonna see the dentist.
All right. Why do you both hate dentists so much? To you first.
Okay, so putting aside the whole dentist thing for a minute, says
I refuse.
Your teeth. I think that we've all heard about lightning striking the same place. I know there's an old thing that says that it doesn't strike the same place twice. I think that's just, I don't know, about romance or something dumb. Anyway, but it does. I'm pretty darn sure that there's like one guy somewhere who has gotten struck 15 times or something, and he's alive still. I probably have that completely wrong. It's probably a lot less, but I've heard of that. And then the last one, what was the last one?
I was just gonna say I would say Alan McGee, who ended up getting knocked out of a bomber, landed it. I would say basically landed in a
I've only heard of one story from the internet where a lady did survive and she didn't have a parachute at all, but the winds were able to carry her in such a way that she had a lot of bumps and scrapes, but she ended up surviving.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I think it's probably okay. But you also said he fell through an entire roof. So like, I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. Plus, I think a machine gun could take out a lot of people if they don't have the same weaponry.
Nope, totally fair. Totally fair. Sarah, why do you hate dentists?
I don't hate dentists in general. Although the one that I saw over the weekend made my mouth hurt really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Rob just did the same thing today.
Yeah. Did you go to the dentist while you were pregnant? Because 0 to 10 don't recommend.
Do not recommend, but you have to.
Yep.
Awful.
I needed a couple fillings, and that sucked. So putting that aside, no, the extent of his wounds sounds extremely unlikely for him to have like received that much while still alive. Like I totally buy that he was like kicking and like really fighting for it and stuff, but like I think it's a partial truth. But I think you just went a little overboard with how much he was injured.
I don't know though. What if there was like 30 guys who attacked him at once? They could have all.
But then, how would he have 98 bodies?
Machine gun.
But then, like all of the I think that's.
I know I'm like fighting you on this now, but
I was just gonna say, like, you guys are agreeing, you know that, right? You guys are agreeing, you know that, right?
You just do a very good job of making us not know what's true anymore. So confused.
No, that'll happen. All right. Well, you guys, well, this is another thing the two of you have in common. You are both incorrect about this.
Mother.
You can say motherfucker on this podcast.
I mean, you are.
Yeah, on this one. I would say you were right on the partial truth, but no, it was Alan McGee. Motherfucker survived up until 2003.
Wow. That
And
wait.
Saint Nazaire invited him back. He's got a street named after him.
See, like, I totally bought that one, but also I knew, like, the state of medical care in the US. And, like, I would totally buy that he picked up an infection and died when he was back in the US.
I thought that was so
like,
funny.
Right? Like, I bought that because it was like, yeah, that shit sucks. And also, like, the theory behind infections back in the day was not as good as it is now. So
True.
It's a long, slow boat ride back to the States.
And, like, not sanitary.
Nope, not at all.
So
Not at all. So I have some good news for one of you. Christina, we're gonna be seeing you again in the semifinals. You won 2-1.
Woo! Suck it!
Oh, well, I was just going to say, well, thank you for joining us here at Madison Square Garden, where tonight T brings home the victory to finish up our first round. In 2 weeks, tune in for the first of our semifinal rounds. Still stuck in the booth, I'm Braden Thorvaldson, and have a good night.
this shit is rigged.